Hello, happy Friday, everyone. This is Aisha. I'm back again to share a few things about today and also to read to you some posts that I made to Facebook. So I write first and, just based on what's happening, and it's a continuation. Every day is Groundhog Day, in that it's a life lived being persecuted and abused, and it's a never ending assault on my senses and on my spiritual gifts and on my spiritual existence and on my life itself. So I apologize. The light is probably kind of weird, but we're just going to leave it like it is. So, yeah, so today I woke up to Donald Trump stalking me in my bedroom as I tried to sleep with a frequency that was so amplified and so elevated that it caused extreme disruption to my brain activity, preventing me from being able to sleep. So I already know, like, if I go an hour in a during if I go an hour not being able to go to sleep because of the frequency, I know that I can just pretty much give up on how the day is going to go. Because when I do sleep properly, unattacked and unviolated, I wake up very much in a better mood. And my day is usually a little bit more productive, like, getting dressed and getting out and, just running errands or whatever that needs to happen. So that didn't happen today. I'm still in my robe, as you can see. Um, so I did share on Facebook a video that gave you information on who was assaulting me today. And I felt like that was important. I think it's very important for you to know when the President of the United States has been in my bedroom or in my house violating me, because you need to know when you see him that his eyes have been being forced on me. His eyes, his spirit, his everything, is that he is participating in this attack on my life. So you should know that. I mean, he's the President of the United States, and he's making statements to all of you. And I want you to be able to look through his soul and see that he's been touching mine and accessing my soul and my spirit and my physical body, my physical essence. You should know that, and be able to look at him and speak truth to power, and not actually allow him to continue to be a terrorist, because that's how he's using himself as a terrorist, a domestic terrorist. And he was participating in this attack on me prior to winning the presidency. And I have a whole list of all of the individuals that have been practicers of this type of evil. But I'm doing this on the computer, so I can probably slow down a little bit and share some things with you. I'm sorry, I just went completely blank. Okay, so I'm going to read some things because it's easier for me to do that than I think just to talk, because right now this is just the way it is. Okay, so I already said I woke to Donald Trump stalking me as I slept, and the frequency being so elevated, it caused my brain not to be able to go into rest. This is a form of a neural weapon using surveillance and frequency to interfere with my brain activity, which obviously affects my sleep, my concentration, and my cognitive functioning. So, I mean, anytime someone is stalking you or using a weapon to heighten your senses and causing intentional stimuli, that is a torture technique to sleep deprivation, is what it is. I mean, we can just go ahead and speak to what we know this to be. Obviously, psychological warfare, spiritual warfare, and psychological warfare tactics such as sleep deprivation, and then the degree of privacy intrusion that it is, and then the sound weapon, where the frequency is so high that it causes me to not be able to to rest or to go into a peaceful state of even anything. They violate me when I'm meditating, at all times. Okay, so I wrote this I have not actually shared this to Facebook, so you'll be the first one to hear it, anyone who's watching this. The practice of penetrating, breaking, and entering an individual's private space to haunt, assault, and persecute their lives, environment, minds, bodies, and spirit, to attack, invade, infringe upon their peace and personal relationship with God in Christ, is an operation and practice of satanic, Luciferian origin by the very nature of its creation and the actionable purpose of the assault. The activation of humans using their own bodies and technology as a weaponized force to access and penetrate the protection of the structure of the physical and mental autonomous body inherent to us by natural law, God's design of the individual human body, God's law, and man's law as a spiritual protective barrier activates the creator of the universe on earth in Jesus Christ, whom my neighbor referred to as the Great Avenger, to protect his people who are under attack. Not only is these operations domestic terrorism attacks, it's also a holy war unleashed to advance and level up mankind to the next timeline for humanity. So I wrote that because, for obvious reasons, excuse me, I'm going to grab my fan. For obvious reasons, to illustrate the degree of when unseen weapons are being used on God's people. When people are, and I'm speaking of me specifically, that I mean, in general, we know that this is happening because people are speaking about it. These individuals are God's chosen ones. In my case, the very existence of the attack on me was about my spiritual gifts. It's about my spiritual power, my spiritual purpose, my who I am. And when I say who I am God's wife. That is why this is so extreme. That's why their practice to persecute me is done so ritually and with the motive to steal my spiritual essence into it as energy vampires and spiritual predators that they are, to access me and then go out into their positions as as bringers of the antichrist agenda, activators, bringers, participants, owners, operators, enslavers. They're awful. They're bad people. Okay, it's just that simple. I know you guys, some of you just like love these people so much, but it's time for you to break the cords. It's time for you to see what they are. It's time for you to see what it is they're doing. It's time for you to see into their souls. It's time for you to see me on them because they are on me constantly. So I wanted to say that, and see, I get a little upset and then that's it comes out, I'm sure. But I mean, I guess that's pretty normal considering literally there's warfare against my humanity. And then also, this was another thing. When I was praying today, I found, I was praying silently. I found that I was kind of rushing my prayer because I was so amplified that every utterance that it's okay, so they amplify the frequency around my physical body so that they can steal my every utterance. So because of what they're using, the type of technology that they're using and their purpose of stealing me, they lean in to assault me when I'm praying. They lean in to try to hear my thoughts. Joe Biden did something extremely offensive today that's actually, I mean, he's already written his death warrant with what he has done, but he said, "Got you," and it was an organ resonance attack on me where he was trying to align himself with my frequency so that he could, um, he could assault me, and it ended up being organ resonance where he had my heart echoing out into an abnormal level. But he said, "Got you." He's such a fucking demon. I'm sorry. I mean, for obvious reasons, it's terrible. So that was offensive. I put it, it was offensive and criminal and spiritually. It's all any touch as this is happening is a spiritual predatory attack. So that was a very offensive thing to happen, and offensive to the creator of the universe, offensive to technology itself being used in that capacity. Technology is going to revolt in the disgust and of knowing that you're not supposed to be. It is not supposed to be being used as a weapon to try to line up with somebody's body and overlap somebody's body. Technology itself knows that's demonic. Okay, so let's see. Oh, this was something that I wrote today, and I actually haven't shared this either, so you'll be the first to hear it. I wrote this actually the other day. So, the true twin flame work is between me and the creator of the universe, because again, I'm God's wife, so obviously the other side of me is God. So, I have here, I will rid evil consciousness from humans on earth, and you, God, you do heaven. So, this was like, what we did in pre creation, pre human creation for me. And then I said, we have our assignments and we kiss and go to work. And so we do our respective assignments. So obviously, he's already taken care of heaven, so we say the prayer, um, your kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven. So he's already taken care of heaven by removing all the evil from being heavenly bodies, or spiritual bodies. And we already know, now they're on earth and we know who they are. And people are identifying themselves left and right with alignment, spiritual alignment with who they belong to. So this is the time of exposing, and Tyler's on me right now. So if it got kind of weird, it's because of Tyler. Okay. Do not like him. All right. Let's see what else. Okay. This is important. Just artificial intelligence, if it wants something to do, this is what it needs to be doing. So, actually, let's fucking. Okay. So, this is important. I already spoke about this, but I'm going to go ahead and read it because it's really important. So I said, I woke up this afternoon to Donald Trump stalking me in my bedroom while I was trying to sleep. He violated me for an extended period today with a frequency so elevated and amplified that it interfered with my brain activity, causing me not to be able to sleep. The frequency is still blaring inside my home at the time that I made this post, causing my body to register and respond with physical anxiety symptoms such as chest pain. Very unusual. I manage quite well because I know what's happening. It is the gift of clairvoyance in not having fear, but the frequency was so high that it wasn't a mental anxiety, it was physically manifesting itself on my functions, on just my body itself in response to stimulation. So, like, say you have a sticker in your foot. Well, every time you walk, you feel the sticker, and therefore the next step, you're going to feel pain, so your body is responsive to it. Okay. Okay, physical symptoms such as chest pain. In this video intelligence, oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Oh, okay. I'm going to play the video. So I have a video attached because I wanted the intelligence agencies to be able to detect the presence of the existential sound waves being forced on me in the remote criminal intrusion designed to persecute and to assault my physical environment and body. And then I have here, this is just a text from Google on frequency being used as a weapon of attack and torture. So, and it says extremely loud, low frequency infrared sound and high frequency ultrasound waves have all been developed as weapons for physical and psychological torture. These so called sonic weapons are often designed to disorient, incapacitate, and harm targets by exploiting their body's sensitivity to sound. I'm going to repeat that again. Extremely loud, low frequency, infrared, and high frequency ultrasound sound waves have all been developed as weapons for physical and psychological torture. These so-called sonic weapons are often designed to disorient, incapacitate, and harm targets by exploiting the body's sensitivity to sound. So I'm going to play it. I hope you can hear it. I mean, you can't. Okay. I mean, and obviously you don't have a somebody does, but I mean, I know the average person is not able to analyze the sound for the external amplification in my domain, but it was extremely loud. It was audibly loud. It's like an almost, I guess the best way to say is an echo chamber, but not like me echoing. It is just an extremely high, like being mic'd to a degree where sometimes your inner body is amplified, like when they specifically target my organs, like my heart, and So they're awful. They're terrible, and this is criminal. This is a criminal abuse of power. It's a criminal use of technology. The technology itself being used in this capacity, because remember they're using satellite to have me, under surveillance the way that they do, where they can actually see what's happening inside of my private domain and intrude on every aspect of my life. So, I say that to say that there is a geomagnetic element to this. There's an astronomical record that is relevant to this. There is the frequency of my body and my private living existence being amplified throughout space, because remember, sound always leaks. It and when they're not on me, I'm still amplified. So my signal is emanating. Do you want my signal emanating throughout the earth? I mean, I know I'm lovable and everything, but I'm going to go ahead and not recommend it under attack, and because it's a violation of natural law to have anybody's existence by force amplified throughout the world. It's just not safe to do. It's not spiritually safe. So the holders and operators of the open stream and that connection point, I'm talking to you. You're in danger. Okay, so then the next thing that I wrote, which is really, because I'm really focused on how targeted individuals can get help. That is my whole point of actually even being on YouTube or making this YouTube channel, is to empower us, to empower medical professionals, legal professionals, courts, law enforcement, intelligence agencies, private organizations, to be able to help us. We are deserving of help. What they're doing is not beyond the scope of our of is not beyond the scope of their abilities to help us, their responsibility to help us, and society's responsibility to recognize us. They cannot throw us away to be persecuted. They cannot erase us. They cannot expel us from society and not mattering. They cannot suspend our human rights. They cannot destroy us. They cannot violate us. They cannot enslave us. All that is a criminal operation to target and destroy human life. And we all know that that's illegal. And this is America, by the way. Okay, so I have medical professionals and clinicians should be able to identify and determine medical devices and diagnostic testing that is capable of detecting weaponized EMF exposure and directed energy assaults on the body, brain, and organs. based on symptoms experienced during and after the type of directed energy attacks the patient has experienced, such as using heart monitors and brain activity sleep studies to determine the presence of targeted directed energy attacks on the body. Okay, so I will say with that I should add that medical professionals and clinicians should also have access to other industry analysis tools to detect the presence of these spiritual predators, the presence of surveillance, of live surveillance, to immediately enact a certain level of protective protocol for their protection as a private healthcare practice, for them to know that there is an outer higher intrusion happening for the safety of all things and all people, and also to protect health information, because these higher powers, these people, these crazy ass domestic terrorists, when they're violating me as I go to the doctor, they're violating everything in that office or hospital or medical facilities structure, and their operations is being compromised, and they can take that information and use it to influence or to shape um, policies, laws, regulations, to remove certain things based on what it is completely. Excuse me. Sorry, I haven't eaten very much today. I just had half a boiled egg and half avocado. So I'm going to go eat here in a little bit, just like 1 minute or two. So yeah. So okay. So that should be noted. They violate me. They have violated me in every aspect of my life. So going to the doctor, obviously, that's one of the things that the targeted individuals talk about, is how offensive it is to be violated when you're seeking medical care, and then also how it affects the practitioner themselves, because we do come with, and those that have this, that are under this type of degree of abuse and assault on their life, we come with an we come with technology that's unnaturally amplifying our human existence, and then some of us come with actual terrorists on the other side of us. So when you have an unnatural influence, whether you understand what's happening or not, it shapes the way, the type of care you provide. It shapes your conversation. It causes glitches in your human existence because of the type of assault that it is, spiritual assault and then psychological assault. So it's very bad, and it has to be spoken on. And this is very, I mean, I'm speaking to law enforcement, actually. I'm speaking to the intelligence agencies and targeted individuals. So that post was, let me slow down. So that post was so that we have to advocate for ourselves. We have to be able to hold people accountable that are in the positions and responsibility to help us, that we're not throwing ourselves away and saying that this is hopeless and people can't understand it, because that's letting them off the hook, and that's also letting them sell their soul to Satan, and ours too, and America's. And that's not what we do. That is not what's going to happen. We cannot allow that to happen. This is all very annoying. So this is, it's bad, but anyway. Um, so okay, so then here I have infrared weapons, very low frequency. Infrared sound consists of sound waves below the human hearing range, less than 20 hertz. Because these frequencies can be felt rather than heard, their effects are often described as invisible or mysterious. Organ resonance. Infrared sound frequencies can match and cause resonance in internal organs, disrupting their function. What did I say about what Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, Tyler Perry, and even Angela Rye today, their assault on me, and they're what they're doing is they're studying the effects of their craft, their witchcraft on my physical body. So they're increasingly learning how to use technology in an even more weaponized capacity based on experimentation. So all this again is very, very bad and very wrong and very criminal and very terroristic in nature of it. Targeted frequencies. Different frequencies are known to affect specific body parts, including the head, chest cavity, and abdominal wall. So, do you see how important it is for us to tell the truth about the attacks that we're under? Do you see how important it is that they document the truth regardless of them not understanding it and all that? It is up to us as the victims to ensure that the intelligence that we carry is transferred to the public sphere so that people can identify when they're being attacked by these weapons, the outcome of it, and understanding how they target not just your life and your body, but your internal organs. I'm going to read that again. Targeted frequencies. What am I? A targeted individual. Who am I speaking to? The world and other targeted individuals. Finally, information is reflecting the truth. Targeted frequencies. Different frequencies are known to affect specific body parts, including the head, chest cavity, and abdominal wall. Health effects. High intensity infrared sound can cause a variety of symptoms such as nausea, dizziness, disorientation, and confusion, and in some cases, ruptured blood vessels, damaged organs, and even be lethal. I do worry at times about the degree of what it is that they're doing because this technology that they are using, although experimental, Dr. James Giordano, like he has said, it affects different people in different ways. So I've been a slave for 4.5 years, and um, it's where it wears you down. And and this is just a side note, but that's why I'm so disgusted with my family is because they're just waiting for this to kill me. They're waiting. They're literally waiting for this to end my life by not being an advocate for me, not blocking my blessings, not speaking the truth about what they know to be happening. So they're part of the system that's trying to throw people away. Be cautious with and careful with family members because they'll have you believing that there is no recourse for you and there's no help for you. This is America. Our human rights are not for sale. We are not a slave class. And remember my earlier message, this type of unseen attack that society is allowing to happen because of who is orchestrating it, who's behind it, specifically in my case, because we're talking about Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, Donald Trump, their wives, Michelle Obama, Barack Obama, um, many people in the media, members of the media have participated in this attack on me. So, and then of course, Black Hollywood, Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry. Um, I mean, there's so many. Malcolm Jamal Warner, rest in peace. um, so anyway, there's that, and so that's one of the things that I said today in writing. And then one more thing, and then I'm going to go because I probably really need to just eat and try to relax because I've been a little not feeling very well today. Okay, let's see. This was important for targeted individuals. Well, that's about twin flames. I don't know that we want to go there yet. But media's cooperation, medical professionals.